The New York Stock Exchange plots a cryptocurrency trading desk according to unreleased documents. Manero is now tradable on the Circle investment app. Originally on Ethereum, Kik launches its second blockchain in Stellar Lumens. Ontology introduces their Triones membership system. Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao declares war on Sequoia Capital. Tyler Winklevoss tells Bill Gates to put his money where his mouth is and to short Bitcoin today. Berkshire Hathaway's top 10 holdings reveal why Warren Buffett might be so scared of crypto. And these 12 graphs show you just how early we are in the blockchain revolution. The market slide seems to have halted. We've got all your headlines mixed with some daily market analysis. I'm Elio Trades, and your FUD TV daily update starts now. Welcome back, FUD Nation. Now, of course, your eyes do not deceive you. I am wearing a suit. I'm on my way to a pretty important meeting after this, so I'm wearing a suit, a little unconventional for me, but not so unconventional. Maybe I'll start wearing this more. We'll see what the reaction's like. Anyway, diving in here on the total market caps, we can see that the slide here has abated. We're down here at about 432. We were sliding to about 430 yesterday. That's good. We can see the Bitcoin numbers are still in the red a little bit. We're still above 9,000. Obviously, we're in the high 9,000s as recent as a few days ago. That's where a lot of this market cap evaporated from, was from the Bitcoin chart, even though we see the top 10s are all a little bit in the red. But look at EOS, right? Still holding up there at $18, right? EOS has done such amazing pumping over the last few weeks, and it's held it. Same with Stellar. Stellar's over almost 40 cents still. Cardano's above 30 cents. Litecoin's at 159. These coins have done great, you know, and they're doing, especially look at Ethereum above almost 750. And that was amazing because Ethereum was under 400 bucks a few days ago. So we've seen some amazing growth out of these coins. The slide back is not terrible. It's to be expected. That's how cryptocurrencies grow. It overextends in one direction, it corrects. It overextends in the other direction, it corrects. So hopefully we're going to see more of that. Oh my gosh, I just saw this Bitcoin. Oh, is this what just got listed on Binance? I think this one just got listed on Binance. Yes, Bitcoin just got listed on Binance. Very cool stuff. I actually was reading all this weird stuff. I don't know enough about this coin to tell you whether it's good or not. Anything that's up over 100% triple digits greens is an absolute never buy for me personally, because I know that as soon as you get that triple digit green, you're gonna get a double digit red at the very least. This Bitcoin pump has really gotten people a bit freaked out, and there's a big sort of Reddit post, and there's a few Reddit posts that are claiming that this is market manipulation, and that Bitcoin, essentially what they did was they closed their network right after it got listed on Binance, and then they essentially drove up the price on Binance and created opportunities for arbitrage on other networks or other exchanges, and that anyone who bought in at these artificial prices is now a bag holder. The BCN official account came in here and said, we haven't manipulated the price, we didn't have anything to do with it, the high traffic is the reason why our wallet is down. Honestly, we don't have truth or fiction on this yet, but honestly, I'm just gonna stay away and let the dust settle before I understand what the heck is going on here. But yeah, there's a lot of confusion as to whether this Bitcoin pump is legit. In our lead news out of the day, we have word that the New York Stock Exchange is now making plans to add a cryptocurrency trading desk to its offering. Well, it's not really the New York Stock Exchange. It would be its parent company, Intercontinental Exchange. Obviously, this news came out after the Goldman Sachs report that they're going to be launching their own Bitcoin and cryptocurrency trading desk. Nonetheless, the seriousness and the importance of this news cannot be overstated. About a year ago, the cryptocurrency community would have considered this the holy grail, like all that we could ask for in blowing cryptocurrency up to the highest of all heights. Now we're seeing this offered up on a silver platter. And to be honest, we should be off the walls right now. The New York Stock Exchange, Goldman Sachs, there's going to be a lot of environments here where we can trade virtual currencies at the highest level. And I'll be honest, I think this drastically shifts my prediction for Bitcoin price over the next 12 months. And we've just gotten word that Manero will be available for trading on the Circle Invest app. Obviously, this is pretty interesting because Manero is largely considered to be the untraceable sort of dark coin that's associated with illicit activities. So the fact that we see one of the most sort of spotlighted, in the center of things exchanges like Circle adding support for Manero shows that really maybe there isn't that much fear around regulation in the long term anyway. Honestly, I consider this super bullish news. And the Kik app, which is launching a decentralized blockchain economy, kind of comparable in some ways to the sort of Telegram open network, they're going to be launching on 2 blockchains. They're already existing as an ERC20 on Ethereum, but they're going to be looking towards Stellar Lumen for support on its transactions, essentially admitting that Ethereum just simply can't handle the transaction times and fees that are required for its Kik capabilities. So they're moving over to Stellar for transaction times essentially creating a hybridized token model where there's going to be an ERC20 support as well as the Stellar Lumen token support as well, essentially using one blockchain for what it's best at and deferring to another blockchain for what it's best at, allowing for sort of specialization to take place in the blockchain platform arena. Ontology just released plans around their Treons membership system. This is a governance platform. Governance is important here, and that there's no perfect answer here, but that they believe that they're committed to finding a better balance than currently exists. They're doing a lot of research, and that this is essentially a document that outlines their governance philosophies. And I find this very interesting because this is where the sort of art meets science here of this is a scientific engineering task, cryptography, mathematics, there's only one right answer to get this right. And then you have an artful approach that's very subjective, very decision-based, very how should we do this? What's the ideal form of governance? This is very, very interesting. There's layers of philosophy and debate here that could be had on many levels, and I find this whole thing very riveting. So Ontology I find not only to be a leader technologically, economically, but I feel like they're actually putting forth some leadership qualities philosophically as well. And for that reason, I again remain incredibly bullish on this project. And load those cannons because we got shots fired between CZ, Changpeng Zhao, the CEO of Binance, and Sequoia Capital. Now, if you don't know what Sequoia Capital is, they are one of the leading VCs in Silicon Valley and around the world. In fact, they believe they had a deal to fund Binance back in August of 2017, and that they wanted 10% of the Binance coin supply in return for a few $1 million, something like $8 million. That would have placed the total value of Binance at something like $80 million. We all know that Binance is trading over $2 billion on its slow days in volume, and so that would make it way, way, way more valuable than $80 million. And of course, now they're headquartered in Malta or something like crazy like that. They're being sued by Sequoia Capital because Sequoia Capital believes that they're entitled to that 10% of BNB tokens for that $8 million, which of course everybody knows to be insane at this point. But they want to retroactively get that money from CZ, and CZ's saying no way. And now to turn up the heat, he's saying if you want to get your coin listed on Binance and you have any connection with Sequoia Capital, any connection, meaning if Sequoia has any investment in your coin, in your project, you are not getting listed on Binance. This is a big deal. We have one of the biggest power brokers in the venture capital world, essentially fighting against the newest, biggest power broker in the crypto exchange world. Honestly, CZ is kind of like this crazy hero for the cryptocurrency world. He doesn't take any shit from anyone. He's just more and more assertive in getting Binance's goals accomplished, and I love it. He's certainly not rolling over and taking this offer from Sequoia Capital that is highway robbery at this point. And so all I can say is I really love CZ. I think that he's a phenomenal CEO, and I love the way he's now going and doing battle with these people who are kind of trying to rip him off. And by ripping off Binance, you're ripping off everyone who uses Binance because that affects us all. So honestly, fight on, CZ. Let's go. You don't need to take this. And I love this because we covered this yesterday, but obviously Bill Gates for some reason doesn't realize that he can short Bitcoin as XBT, and he can do it on the CBOE. Go ahead and do it, Bill. We all can't wait to see you get wrecked. But seriously, I don't get this. This is like all political now. If you really want to short Bitcoin, or don't do it. Just shut up about it. I'll be honest, this is off Reddit. This is off Imgur. This is not off the Wall Street Journal or anything. I haven't been able to confirm exactly this, but apparently this is the top 10 holdings of Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company, and they go as such: Apple Inc., Wells Fargo Bank, Bank of America Bank, Coca-Cola, Kraft, Heinz, American Express Payments Company, Phillips 66, U.S. Bancorp Bank, Moody's Corporation, and Bank of New York. So if this was your hodl, if this was your stash of coins, right? Imagine that this is your portfolio, your blockfolio here, and you get the news that Warren Buffett's been getting about this new technology that would totally decimate half of your top holdings. What would your reaction be? Would it be to spread FUD? And just ever so briefly, I just want to clarify, I did kind of do a call out on Crypto Daily yesterday, but that was based upon the idea that he was accepting money to promote ICOs that maybe he didn't even think were good. I don't know if that's something he has done. I'm just saying that that's something that isn't good for crypto. If someone takes money to promote an ICO that they don't believe in the current market we're in, given how sensitive and how uneducated a lot of investors are, that behavior is toxic for cryptocurrency. So that's what I meant to highlight. And anyone who's a Crypto Daily fan, I myself included, am a Crypto Daily fan, which is why I was so shocked to see that Reddit post. But again, we don't know if that has even happened. Didn't want it to be confusing. I'm calling out the behavior of taking money to promote things you don't believe in. If you are shilling an ICO you don't believe in, then it's really bad. So that's it. And to end things on an optimistic note, because that's where we like to end things, we want to talk a little bit about some charts that show just how early we are in this whole blockchain adoption revolution thing we're participating in. Now, of course, before we get into this, we want to be clear, it's not exactly the easiest thing to figure out how many people are using cryptocurrencies because one person can have so many addresses. And in fact, we can assume that if one person like me has, upwards of 10 different Bitcoin addresses, and that other people that are sort of casual users, they'll have their wallet, they'll have their ledger, they'll have their Coinbase. They already have like 2 or 3 Bitcoin addresses. So I'd say your average sort of Bitcoin user has 2, at the very minimum Bitcoin addresses, and then as high as like 10 or 15. So it just depends on where you are in the game. But at any rate, it can be very hard to calculate how many people are actually using cryptocurrencies. This chart shows that there's only 24 million Bitcoin addresses in the world, 24 million Bitcoin addresses. And what are the numbers that we just calculated? There's probably at least 2 to each person, if not more. So we're looking at probably somewhere between 10 and 15 million users of Bitcoin globally. Globally, 10 and 15 million users? Are you kidding me? That is nothing. Nothing. So this chart I really like because it essentially plots from the beginning of the commercial internet to the beginning of blockchain, or I guess the commercial sort of blockchain applications here, and it shows you the growth trajectory year over year. And it shows you that if you were to sort of stack up the internet usage, which is this orange line, against the estimated crypto usage, because it's obviously estimated, we don't know exactly how many people are using it, but we can guesstimate here. We see that we're starting to hit the hockey stick moment for blockchain, just like we hit the hockey stick moment, started to hit it around year 5 or 6 for internet use. Essentially what people are trying to say here, essentially what this article is trying to conclude, it looks like, based on this, if we're comparing this to internet usage, that we're in about year 1994. So the question here is, do you view crypto as a new asset class, or do you view it as a foundational infrastructure for the future of the web, like dApps and stuff like that? Because in reality, there's a case to be made that the dApp revolution has just not kicked off yet, and that people are simply not keeping up pace with the amount of dApps being created. They're mostly falling on deaf ears. These products aren't really reaching the market the way we want them to. So by that lens, we're not really in a dApp world yet. However, we are certainly seeing the birth of this new asset class and the adoption of that asset class. So if you think that this is a new internet, maybe we're comparable, right, to this 4th year 1994 sort of metaphor analogy. But if you're more on the side of this being more of an asset class than a new internet, then maybe that comparison doesn't quite work. Regardless, it is so early days. It is so early for this movement that we just have to be excited, because whether it's 1994 or 1997, we have still decades of growth and progress ahead of us that we can be very, very excited for, as the news comes in day over day that the biggest powers that be throughout the world seem to be converging on this blockchain space. Unfortunately, today's crypto news is over, but you guys are the real FUD Nation here at the end of the video, so let's take this down to the comments. You guys know I'll see you down there. Obviously, smash the like if you enjoyed this video, and of course, if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you're made aware whenever we put out new content. I'm Elio Trades. It's been an absolute pleasure having you with me today on FUD TV, and I'll catch you very soon on the next episode.